good sinking fastball, and he's been clocked up to 94 miles an hour with that sinker.
They've got some guys in that Dodger bullpen that can come in and throw some hard stuff at you, Dick, definitely.
Through 6 innings, the totals, in case you just joined us, Montreal scored 2 in the second and another in the 6th. They lead at 3-0, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Montreal. They've stranded 4 against Valenzuela, who's out of the game, obviously, and the Dodgers, no runs, 3 hits, an error. They too have left 4. So Valenzuela will not win tonight, and his team needs 3 to tie. Montreal, Elias Sosa continues to stay loose in their bullpen. Burris is scheduled to hit second in this inning. Spire, a walk, and a fly ball to left. Niedenfuhr is just 22 years of age. Born and raised in Minnesota. The Washington State University, of course, we mentioned earlier that was college.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing difficulties with the incoming network signal. Please do not adjust your set.
That really bothers me, those kids that can whistle like that. And I've never been able to do that.
36 years old, with or without fingers. I never learned to do that.
3-1 the count. Now Niedenfuhr comes right back. The publicity on Niedenfuhr is that the Dodgers would liken him to a Goose Gossage. He's big and some similarities facially there. Big Goose and a Yankee stopper. Chris Spire, as he made his move to first base, shouted something back. I don't know whether it was at the umpire or at Socia, but as he made contact with that a solid base hit, he was answering something, maybe a comment from Socia. Let's see.
Sometimes Socia behind the plate will try to distract you, much the way the stories about Yogi Berra trying to distract hitters at certain times. They give him the advantage at the plate when you run the count to 3-2, sitting on 1 pitch. Niedenfuhr against Burris in this situation. A definite bunt situation.
Say creeping in at third, and the pitch is fouled back. I'm just trying to guess on that play by going back. I mean, you've been there, and that banter between a catcher and a hitter. Could it have been that maybe Socia was saying, hey, this kid is really too tough for you. You never know what this one's going to be. And then as he got the base hit, he turned back and said, well, take a look at that answer.
That's putting it just about as gently as you possibly can, too, I think. They weren't discussing where they were going to meet for dinner, that's for sure.
There are some Canadian fans here, obviously. As I'm sure there will be some Dodger fans up in Montreal's Olympic Stadium when the scene shifts Friday night. 2 strikes. And it figures he's going to get a third chance to try to move his runner up.
Niedenfuhr is one of a group of pitchers in that Dodger bullpen. Howe, Stewart, Pena, with the addition of Welsh going down there that can really come in and put some heat on you.
And the third time is the charm. Niedenfuhr going to go to second. And just in time.
Niedenfuhr hesitated just for a moment. It certainly was a close play at second base, but you got no argument from Chris Spire. Dutch Rennert, the umpire at second base. Boom, he just did get him, too. From the first shot of it, it looked like he was safe at second base, but on that first replay, you could see that he was out. Chris didn't say a word.
We got it from all angles.
Dutch Rennert in perfect position to make the call.
The mathematician that drew the lines and the measurements for this game. How many are bang, bang plays? Well, the umpiring crew has really, as a team, done an outstanding job tonight. Tim Raines, a pair of base hits and 3 at-bats. 1 an RBI single back in the second. He's hitting from the left side for the first time tonight. That is statistically his stronger side. Hits that one well to left center, and Landreau on his horse. Here comes Burris around third, they're going to hold him on a long double by Raines. You said it. He can hit with some punch.
Raines is a better hitter left-handed in my book. First time I faced him, I said, I'm going to run my fastball by him. And he whistled it right by my ear. He gets a fastball up in the strike zone there. He knocked that ball off the wall. 385 feet from home plate. He ends up with Burris on third and Raines at second. If Burris isn't ahead of him on this play, there's a good possibility Raines would have gone for 3, and he probably would have made it.
And it was good fielding by Landreau, getting that short hop off the wall to save a run. Had that ball trickled away at all, then Burris could have come around and Raines might have tried for the triple. Left-hander, or at least a pinch hitter, switch hitter, Rodney Scott is due next. The left-hander, Forster, coming in with a break in the action in Los Angeles. Montreal leading 3-0. We pause for this.
Oh, we got to get off here.
Brian Gumbel has the greatest job in baseball. Once a week, a Saturday, get to go to all those ballparks. You love the game, do you not?
Yeah, love it. Just like you.
Yeah, it is. It sure beats working.
I'll be back doing baseball anyway.
Great job, too, all season long. We really enjoyed your reports. Nice to have you with us.
We love having you.
Man who adds class to everything NBC does. Brian Gumbel. He's ready to work now. He wants to go down the dugout. He's already saying, now let's see if we go 5 minutes here, 10 here. Where do you want me to go? And if we have time, we'll take you down to the field and talk to the stars of the game tonight. It's been the Expos 9 through 6, 3-0. And they're trying to get more for right-hander Ray Burris. Terry Forster. The Chicago White Sox a few years ago had 2 outstanding young arms, Terry Forster and Rich Gossage. And as they first broke in, this was the man that received most of the headlines. He was brilliant. Chuck Tanner was the skipper of the Sox, and he used those 2 kids out of the pen, used them often, and they both were mighty effective as just babies. Forster's had some arm problems since, and of course Gossage has developed into a tremendous relief pitcher. Runners at second and third, so the infield draws in. Scott from the right side hit 225 this year, 200 from the left side. Raines at second with plenty of speed, and the pitcher Burris you saw at third. 88 miles on that fastball. He used to bring it in there around 95.
Expos in a chance now, Dick, to break the game open. Burris sailing along with a little 3-hitter through 6 innings. And here we are, 3-0, minute, second and third, 1 out.
One of those
Expos
men
could put this out of reach if they get a couple more hits.
One of those men is Burris on base the whole inning, and some would say that's not necessarily good, but on a cool evening shouldn't bother, huh?
Shouldn't bother him at all. Ray does a lot of running. You see him running before the games, and he's not scheduled to pitch like most of your pitchers will do. He'd just soon be right down there and go 90 more feet, put run number 4 on the board for himself.
1 out, second and third. Fouled away. Terry Forster, we talked about the uniqueness of athletes. Forster went to the same high school in San Diego as the NBA star Bill Walton, and at the same time at the same high school, NFL quarterback Brian Sipe. Had some pretty good talent down there in San Diego, which has always been a baseball-rich city. One of our favorites, the great Ted Williams out of San Diego.
Hoover High School, Mr. Williams.
1-2 the count. Brought that hard breaking pitch in on him. Here in this 7th inning, Niedenfuhr out of the pen gave up a single to Spire. Burris safe on a fielder's choice trying to bunt him along, and then Raines doubled off the left field wall. Second and third, 1 out. Forster working on his first man, Rodney Scott. And gets him. Big strikeout.
Yes, indeed, Dick, a very big strikeout in that situation. A sacrifice fly or a bloop hit certainly is going to be 2 runs when you consider the man down at second base, Raines. And here comes Lasorda back out of the dugout. And I would imagine you're going to see a right-hander with Andre Dawson coming up there. Lasorda's going to play it by the numbers.
Now Tommy Lasorda has proclaimed loudly and for a long time that he bleeds Dodger blue. Is he going to bring in a right-hander? He's got two of them throwing out in the bullpen.
This is a stall game until Eric Gray gets there, and then we're going to go to the bullpen.
That's right. Bobo Castillo is on the right. Dave Stewart on the left. Check that. Alejandro Pena. Pena is on the left. And we'll see which one he has selected. Forster did his job getting Scott with runners at second and third. Alejandro Pena will be the new pitcher. The Expos leading 3-0 in the seventh as we pause for this word. Well, Alejandro Pena warms up. A reminder, looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday could be a very special sports day here on NBC. We could still have both the National and American League pennant races alive. And in that case, you would see at 1 o'clock the National League game from Montreal and 6 o'clock the American League game Eastern Time from Oakland. And in between, at 4 o'clock, a very special event, the World Championship, Formula One Championship, the Caesars Palace Grand Prix. They've raced all over the world, France, England, Germany, and now it boils down to this big race. And NBC Sports World will debut for the fall season, carrying it live from Las Vegas, Nevada. So on Saturday, mark that down, a busy day. That Grand Prix sandwiched between, if the series go to games 4, the National American League pennant fight. Ray Burris taking a breather as Pena finishes his tune-up tosses. Your old buddy Ernie Harwell in Detroit refers to him, and we're set to go. Second and third, Raines at second, and he came over to talk to Dawson while Pena was warming up. Raines in the American Association may have seen Pena along the line or somewhere in their minor league careers, gave him some idea what to expect. What he can expect, apparently, is a pretty good fastball.
All of these guys coming out of the Dodger bullpen, Pena, Neaton, Fuhr, as we said before, Stewart, they all have outstanding fastballs. 2 out.
Dawson, a base hit to right field his last time up. Now here's an opportunity, Andre Dawson, 3-0 game, to get his first RBIs to the playoff. And I think he's feeling the pressure of that. He wants almost too much to get that big hit. A little pressure taken off by the game score.
Now, I've talked to some of his teammates about that. There was a ball went on the field down there, the right field line. That's why the delay, but some of his teammates feel that he's just pressing just a little bit too much, wants to do it too badly. Wants it. He's so eager to do it that he just is trying to do more than he really can do.
1-1. Dodgers have 3 big turns left at bat. 3-0 Montreal. It's a big opportunity for the Expos to give themselves some breathing room. Forster came in to strike out Scott. So now with 2 away runners at second and third. The 1-1 pitch. And Russell has it. And pulls him off the bag in time. Garvey came down in time.
Good play by Steve Garvey at first base. Good hustle by Andre Dawson. He was not trotting down that line, and Garvey made a good play to get back to the bag in time.
So the Expos with an opportunity, a single and a double, but failed to score. Stretch half of the seventh. The Dodgers 3 to tie. Steve Garvey, the 4 men in the Dodger infield have played together for 8 years. They know each other's moves exactly, even the errant ones. And the correction made by Garvey. Quick feet to beat Dawson, as a run would have scored.
The interesting thing about that play is Andre Dawson still looking for that first RBI, in a position to. pop his team out in front. If he gets a single, 5-0. Hit the ball pretty good. Didn't hit it right on the nose, Dick, but right at Bill Russell. Russell was saved by a good play by Garvey at first, and Dotson still no RBIs.
I want to thank all the cooperation from Peter O'Malley and the entire Dodger organization. This isn't regarded as one of the top baseball organizations for just a few victories. It's what's on the field. But here's a ballpark 20 years old, and it still looks brand new. And the manner in which the crowd is accommodated, it's not the rowdiness you might find some places. A beautiful place to watch the game. Dodger Vision is the best we've ever seen in baseball, the way they run the television replays and the features. And we thank the Dodger organization for their hospitality. Ray Burris, it was a long half inning for Burris with 3 pitching changes. He was out on the bases a long time. Leading 3-0. Say, Guerrero, and Socha scheduled here in the 7th. Ball 2. Too high.
Burris got in trouble in the 5th inning when he walked Guerrero to lead off the inning. He got out of it. Fine plays by his shortstop, Chris Spire, and here again, leading off the inning, Ron Say. And Burris, the one reason he's been effective is that he's been getting ahead of his hitters, throwing strikes. But here, leading off the inning, he runs it out to 3-0.
Drops that one in there, 3-1. Ray's best year was in '75 with the Cubs when he won 15 and lost 10. Was traded to the Yankees. Dick Tidrow deal by the Cubs, and then on to the Mets. Came to Montreal as a free agent this year. 3-2. And understandably, this partisan crowd looking at that one with their hearts. Say trying to get on. In this case, that walk is as good as a base hit. Fouled away. Dennis Mnuchin, our statistician, hands me a very interesting note. Montreal led in 5 of the 6 games at Dodger Stadium last year in the 7th or 8th inning and lost them all. They lead 3-0 today. Of course, their record, 1 win and 19 losses in 20 games here. They just haven't been able to close out the deal when they've had a victory in their grasp. Spire had to back up. Well, he has been a most clever and efficient shortstop tonight.
Pedro Guerrero, right field.
Pedro Guerrero up. It was his 2-run homer in the 8th inning that really iced the game for the Dodgers yesterday off Jeff Reardon, the relief pitcher for Montreal. It's top-handed. They duck hooked that one into the left field bleachers.
That stat you had about the Expos losing here after being ahead in those games in the 7th and 8th innings before they had Jeff Reardon. He did not pitch well yesterday, but that may be a blessing in disguise in case he has to come in today. A little work on back-to-back, those relievers like that. He might be a little bit sharper today if he has to be used in this game. Burris still sailing along with a little 3-hitter so far.
They come back from 3-0 on Ron Say and make a good pitch to get him to ground up. Actually made 4 pitches. Got him to foul off the first 3-2 delivery.
That first out of the inning, the most important out. For all you young pitchers out there, we talk about a lot of things about how to pitch and what you should do. Basic fundamentals of pitching. Low strikes. Get that first out of the inning.
Low strikes and the first out in the inning. It's just like there's so many parallels football. It's that first down. What you do on first down that sets up everything else. Guerrero hits it deep to right, but not deep enough. Plenty of room for White in the corner. 2 away. So Ray Burris. He has scattered 3 base hits rather neatly in the first, third, and 6th innings and leads 3-0.
You know, Dick, that's a theory that doesn't change no matter what level you proceed to. You can start with the little leagues and go on to your school ball and summer leagues and universities or whatever. But those basic theories, the basic principles, apply no matter what level you play at. There's still a lot of goal here in the major leagues.
So you young athletes, a little free lesson from Tom Seaver. Lessons you're learning right now aren't something that's just going to leave you in your 12, 13, 14. If you're successful, they'll take you all the way to the big leagues. 2-0 to Scioscia. He is flied out and grounded out.
He had 2 2-0 counts yesterday. One he got a single, one a home run. But I would think you'll be taking in this situation. Dodgers need base runners.
And they've got some fellows down on the bench that can come up and get you the long ball. And one of them, veteran Reggie Smith, Rick Monday. And we're down to the bottom of the order here where Tommy Lasorda may go to his bench. Hit to left center, but Dawson has a play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Burris. Boy, you have to admire what this veteran right-hander has done tonight. He retires the Dodgers in order in the 7th. He's working on a 3-hitter. We go to the 8th. 3-0 Montreal. Game 2 for the National League pennant. Dodgers winning 5-1 yesterday, and Montreal leads 3-0. Top of the 8th inning at Dodger Stadium tonight. And they got all 3 runs off Fernando Valenzuela. Don't forget tomorrow, be an off day for the National Leaguers, but the American League making the move cross country. And tomorrow night at the Oakland Coliseum, 8 o'clock in the East, 5 o'clock here in the West on NBC. The A's and the Yankees. Billy Martin trying to kick up something special at home for his former team. Gary Carter, Larry Parrish, and Jerry White, the middle of the Montreal order against Pena in the 8th inning. Carter an RBI single for the 3rd run of the Expos in the 6th inning. He's really had a good October. Yeah, there's false hustle and false enthusiasm. Not this guy. He just is always up, isn't he? He's just so positive.
All the time.
Maybe that's the reason he's always getting base hits. Guerrero has already shown the Expos his throwing arm, gunning down Cromartie at the plate. Carter settles for the single.
Third base.
There's the pitcher for Friday night for the Dodgers, left-hander Jerry Royce. Pitched that final game against the Astros here at Dodger Stadium.
And he'll be going against Steve Rogers, who certainly was outstanding in the Philly series.
And you look at the number, excuse me, Dick, that the Dodgers have put on the board as far as their pitching in the last 6 games. They give up 3 runs to the Astros in the first game, and then 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, no runs. And then last night, Bert Hooton, 1 run they got.
Pop back of the plate. Scioscia won't have a play. Yeah, the 3 runs for Montreal is like knocking out the walls of the Dodger Bank. Tomorrow night in Oakland, I'm guessing it'll be Rick Langford for the Oakland A's against Dave Righetti for the Yankees. I believe I did hear Righetti's name. Can't confirm the Oakland pitcher. Could be 2. Lopes back to Russell. Couldn't quite get his feet in position to make a strong throw and double up Parrish. He's safe on the fielder's choice. Lopes kind of let him off the bag a bit.
I think the ball was just hit too slowly to get the double play. Parrish takes the big swing and does not run well. You're going to have a super turnover there to get Parrish at first, but he beats that by a couple of steps. Davey gets inside the bag. Russell had already gotten to the bag and couldn't get much on the throw to first base. That might have been the only way that they'd be able to execute the double play if Russell had laid back and been able to get a strong throw off to first.
You could see Bill doing a little dance, trying to get himself in position so his momentum was going toward first, but the little flip toss, he had to just get there and anchor himself, make sure he got the one. Batting from the left side for the first time tonight, Jerry White. He was 1 for 2 off Valenzuela, a single and a walk. Grounded to third. 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Alejandro Pena. Blew that one by White. It's 0-2.
Pena simply playing, here it comes, see if he can hit it.
Alejandro's from the Dominican Republic. He's 22 years of age. Oh-2 pitch. Ooh. Almost caught Parrish locked in position. I don't think Larry is thinking about stealing, do you?
I thought they might have put a hit and run on before he got the no balls and 2 strikes. I doubt if anything would be on at this point.
Shot to left, but Baker is there. Well, he really reads the ball. Baker reads the ball well off the bat, doesn't he?
He made a nice play yesterday on that ball hit by Dawson to left center field. Nice diving catch. Here's a shot from our left field camera. The ball hit the left field. Baker fired that ball all the way to first base. Tried to catch Parrish sleeping. That's the kind of thing that sometimes nothing but bad things can happen. Ball takes a bad bounce into the dugout. Runner goes to scoring position.
You could see from that left field corner that cavernous dugout in the background behind Garvey. 2 outs. Parrish at first. Cromartie. RBI double. Knocked in a run back in the second in 3 trips. Just a review for you in case you're joining us. Fernando Valenzuela started the game for the Dodgers and ran into trouble in the second inning. Singles by Parrish and White, followed by Cromartie's RBI double, and another run scored on Tim Raines' single, 2-0 Montreal. And then in Valenzuela's last inning, the 6th, a single by Dawson, and he eventually came around to score on an RBI hit by... Just go and check my card here myself. Carter actually scored on an error when Carter singled to left and Dusty Baker threw to second base. The ball got away and the run came home on an error. It was an earned run, however, because the way the inning developed, he would have scored on a wild pitch, which would have been an earned run. 3-0 the score. And Montreal trying to add to the lead here in the 8th inning off the 4th Dodger pitcher, Alejandro Pena.
First pitch to Cromartie, a breaking ball high out of the strike zone, and then coming back with 2 fastballs. Warren is a good hitter if he'll go the other way. The Dodger outfield playing him around to left field. Landreau in center field is slightly on the left field side. Cromartie is a good hitter if he's disciplined enough to try and hit the ball up that left field alley.
He was trying to go to left. Baker going steady with that left field foul line.
And Baker playing almost like playing Cromartie almost like a pull hitter here. Playing him deep out there, too. Around toward the line.
There you see Baker with Landreau into left center. Big gap in right center. Guerrero straight away in right.
When Willie Mays was a teammate of mine in New York, he'd come to me before the game and he'd have a lineup card with him, and he'd say, how are you going to pitch him? How are you going to pitch him, inside or outside, off speed, or when are you going to throw him? Are you going to throw him differently with a man on second base? And he'd keep that in his back pocket. And he'd check it every once in a while. You could see him just double checking. But he was amazing. He'd come to me and say, want to know exactly for every hitter how I was going to pitch him, and if I was going to pitch them differently with somebody in scoring position.
That's interesting.
Well, he was always right, too.
He had it in his back pocket. Would he check it in defensive league? Reach in there and take a look?
Just to see, make sure, double checked it. And the hitter, how I said I would be pitching them in a certain situation.
That sure helps you get that good jump. And the count goes full to Cromartie. Mrs. Cromartie, Carroll. He's the personality of this Montreal team. Not a question about that.
If nothing else, he's the court jester.
Yes, sir.
His smile and laugh.
Runner goes. Lifted behind third. Baker and Russell. It's the shortstop, Russell, to make the play. No runs. Leadoff hit by Carter. And a man left for Montreal. Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning. They bring up scheduled Russell, the pitcher's spot, and then Davy Lopes. Don't forget, in that Caesars Palace Grand Prix, the World Championship driver had 3 men all battling for that honor. We covered live here on NBC Sports World, an event around the world. Those of you who follow auto racing, you know that in many countries that's their Super Bowl. That's you can't get a much more important event rather than perhaps what they call football or soccer. And now the championship will be decided here in the United States, and we'll be covering it for you. Bill Russell trying to get things going against Ray Burris, who has the Dodgers shut out 3-0 on a 3-hitter. Russell has a single and 2 trips. Woody Fryman, veteran left-hander, and Elias Sosa throwing in the Montreal bullpen. Hear those mitts a-popping. Russell's second hit.
His job, of course, to get something started. Looked like he was taking a strike on the first pitch. Burris came right down the middle of the plate with a fastball and got a curveball up out over the plate. Bill just simply knocked it in the hole between Parrish and Spire. That's what they need. They need base runners. Time running out for the Dodgers.
Here's pinch hitter Jay Johnstone. His average only 205, but he had 11 pinch hits this year. He's good coming off the bench.
Might be the first time I've ever seen Jay Johnstone take the first pitch fastball. He's dead first ball fastball hitter. Low fastball hitter.
Burris has given up only 4 hits, 2 to Russell and 2 to Dusty Baker. Cromartie calling. 1 away. And out of the top of the Dodger order, Dave Lopes is scheduled, but he's been called back into the dugout. And Rick Monday grabs a bat and a helmet.
Well, you may say, why is Lasorda using him here in this situation? Because the 9th inning coming up, but obviously you're not going to be pinch hitting for Orlando or Baker or Garvey or say or Guerrero next inning. You can't get the production out of those guys. You still have the Reggie Smith on the bench over there. There you can see Lasorda going over the lineup. See who his extra men are, who he can use this inning, who he can use next inning. They'd like to get a pop out of Rick Monday, get a couple runs on the board, and get it back within 1 of the Expos.
Monday, 36 years of age, grew up in the Oakland A's organization. He has a very promising career ahead as a sportscaster. He picked the right parents. He's got that marvelous, mellifluous tone, baritone voice, and good wit, good mind. For some of you who don't follow baseball on a regular basis, you might remember a very important incident with Rick Mundy a few years ago when a fan was trying to burn the American flag, and he went out and rescued that banner from the individual, highly publicized.
Mundy, a low fastball, low inside fastball up out of the plate hitter. Almost a classic style of left-handed hitter. He's got good power. He can hit the ball out to left field. If you get the ball up and out over the plate, you get it down and in, he can jerk the ball. You can see Burris' second pitch, a strike, up and in. You try and pitch him up and in, and then the off-speed pitch, keeping it down in the strike zone, which has been Burris' most effective pitch, is the off-speed, the curveball and the straight change tonight.
Something off. 1-2 the count.
Good example of a hitter that looks for the fastball and gets the off-speed pitch. You can see Rick way out in front of the ball. Burris goes ahead, 2 strikes and 1 ball.
71-mile-an-hour pitch from Ray Burris. Monday, good season. Part-time player. He hit over 300, double figures in home runs. 1 out. Russell at first in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-0 Montreal. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Things a little itchy down in that Dodger dugout.
Probably a little itchy in both dugouts at this point. You can see Fanning yelling encouragement. Make sure of 1. Get 1 out in this situation, even if the ball hit on the ground. Make sure you get 1 out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him with a dipper. Bottom fell out of that one.
Well, in order to set up this pitch, you have to go back to the pitch preceding it, up and in fastball, and there's the breaking ball, down and in. But the thing that makes those things effective, why hitters will chase pitches that in the replays look so bad, you have to back up. You have to go back to the previous pitch. The pitch before that, up and in, up, out of the strike zone, pushing Rick back off the plate, makes that second pitch very effective.
The 3rd strikeout for Burris. Boy, what a big game for Montreal. If they could beat Fernando Valenzuela and the Dodgers in Game 2, they know they're going home to Olympic Stadium for Game 3 and, if necessary, 4 and 5. They lead 3-0. Landreau, the hitter, fouls it back toward us.
Boy, I was waiting to see your hands.
I can't wait.
Talked about it all night last night at dinner. How are you going to catch that pop fly up here? That's as close as we've gotten, huh?
My heart just starts beating a little faster.
What were you jumping behind me for?
Well, that's a matter of self-preservation is important also. 1 strike the count on Landreau. On deck, Dusty Baker. And at the bat rack is Steve Garvey in the Dodger 8th inning. I mentioned Montreal trying to get a split in Los Angeles because they own the best of all home records in the National League. Rip. Well, actually, it was a soft line drive. As it came off the bat, it looked like a solid shot, but he was jammed a bit right at second baseman Rodney Scott and Ray Burris. They'll be calling him Mister the way he's pitched tonight. A 4-hitter through 8. We go to the 9th inning. Expos 3, Dodgers 0. back at Dodger Stadium, 9th inning. A reminder that immediately following our game tonight, stay tuned for your local news, followed by The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Most of these NBC stations, of course, on the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations, local news and The Tonight Show will be seen at their regular times. Tomorrow night, baseball from the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. The Oakland A's and New York Yankees Game 3. The A's now need a victory or they are dismissed. And speaking of leaving, an amazing exodus at Dodger Stadium. Here we are in the 9th inning of a very important playoff game. It's 8 o'clock Los Angeles time. And we would guess after the Dodgers failed in the 8th inning, approximately half of the crowd left for the parking lot. And there is one of the unusual trademarks of Los Angeles crowds. In many places around the country, you wait till that final out.
What makes it even more unusual, there's Steve Sachs going in to play second in place of Davey Lopes. Lopes, of course, was hit for by Rick Mundy. But when you look to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's not as if the Dodgers have lost this game or they're out of it. They're far from out of it. Baker, Garvey, Say, Guerrero, the 4 hitters for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th inning.
They still have Reggie Smith sitting down there. He can hurt you with one swing. It's amazing.
Had to beat the traffic.
Dave Stewart? No, it is Babo Castillo on the mound, not Stewart. And he'll be facing Chris Byer, Ray Burris, and Tim Raines. Raines with 3 hits tonight, and of course Burris has allowed only 4. Spire a walk, a fly to left, and a single.
Around the batting cage before the game, I was down there with Fernando was there, and I wanted to do an interview with Fernando before the game to get him on for one of our talking heads here during the show. And I said, Bobby, I want to get Fernando for our talking head, but I can't speak Spanish. I said, could you ask him for me? He says, hey, Fernando, you want to do an interview before the game?
Yeah, sometimes you wonder if Fernando doesn't understand a little more English than he shows. Castillo is 26 and has been Fernando's interpreter. He was born and raised in the Los Angeles area. Steve Yeager, we see, has come in to... No, he's not. Socha is still behind the plate. For a moment as he turned there that they'd made a catching change as well. Castillo throws the right-handed screwball, so that'll come breaking into the right-handed hitters. There it was. Easy little comebacker. 1 away.
Watching those guys throw the screwball, it just hurts watching it. Hurts my elbow.
Did you ever meet Carl Hubble? Get a chance to chat with him? Boy, that left arm's about a foot longer than the right.
Oh, I certainly have. Turned in about 90 degrees.
Here's one of the stars tonight, Ray Burris of the Montreal Expos. He sends that one back into the second deck. Matched up against Fernando Valenzuela in Valenzuela's park, and has been the better pitcher on this evening. And leads 3-0, and looking ahead to the 9th, Baker, Garvey, Say, Guerrero still there. There's Mrs. Burris. One ball and 2 strikes.
Talking about Burris and what a night he's having here, his 4-hit shutout so far. You look at his numbers, 9 and 7. Of course, all the fanfare out here is for Fernando, but what Ray did in the second half, baseball's second season, so to speak, 6-2 with a 3.0 ERA, so he pitched extremely well coming in here tonight.
First strikeout for Castillo. With 2 out, brings up Tim Raines, who has a pair of singles and a double and an RBI tonight.
Left field.
Game 3 tomorrow night. The Yankees and the Oakland A's. Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek to call the action for you from the Oakland Coliseum. The Yankees won their 2 at home. 3 if necessary to be played at Oakland. But the A's now in a must-win situation. And then, of course, on Friday, Game 4 from Oakland in the afternoon. And Tom and I will be up at Olympic Stadium in Montreal for the night game between these 2 clubs. Virginia Reigns. What a happy year this has been for the Reigns clan. Tim with a sensational first year in the big leagues.
I got to play fan up here. I got to pull for Reigns to get on so we can watch him try and run. Definitely, if he gets a single or a walk here, he's going to try and steal.
With 2 out, you bet.
That would be a treat for those people around the country who have not been able to see this young man play. He is simply awesome on the base.
At 71 stolen bases, to put it in perspective, the former major league record for a rookie was 56 by Gene Richards of San Diego in a full season. He did that not playing 50 games. I mean, he was really on track for the all-time record as a rookie. He's not going to get on as Castillo retires the side in order, and now it's up to the Dodger bats. About half of this crowd did not believe, but don't you think that's the attitude down in the Dodger dugout? They know they got the big guns up, 3 outs to go, trailing 3-0. The Dodgers won 63 games this year, and 13 of them in their last at bat. Tom Lasorda ready to use everything possible, and in turn Jim Fanning has countered with a new left fielder, Terry Francona. Remember, Francona made a fine catch in Game 1 against the Phillies in the divisional playoffs for the final out to clinch a 3-1 victory at Olympic Stadium. Dusty Baker is 2 for 3 against Burris tonight. Burris has held the entire lineup hitless except for Baker, 2 singles, and Russell, 2 singles. And Burris has not faced more than 4 men in any inning tonight, to give you an idea of his total command. Well, the crowd that stayed believes. That one just missed. 3 runs, 10 hits for Montreal.
Got him already.
Regina Burris. Boy, she's probably feeling a lot more pain than the man on the mound. High fly to center. Dawson tucks it away. 1 out. Immediately following our game, a reminder, stay tuned for your local news in the East and Midwest, and that'll be followed by the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson over most of these NBC stations. Here in the West and most Mountain Time Zone stations, your news, and of course the Johnny Carson Tonight Show will be seen at its regular time. Steve Garvey grounded out, struck out, and grounded into a double play tonight facing Burris, who's spending mostly low outside breaking pitches. Ball 1. Looked almost like he turned that one over a little bit, didn't it?
Burris taking no chances. There's no guarantee that Tommy Lasorda has his hitters up there taking a strike. Garvey certainly could be hitting if he wants.
Nice little wrinkle in that one.
Looks like he was taking a strike, but you never know. Never be too sure. Garvey obviously can put the ball out here as easily as anybody in that Dodger lineup.
There's a base hit to center. The 5th Dodger hit, all singles.
Scouting report on Steve Garvey is fastballs, no. Curveballs in the down, yes. There you saw Burris try to sneak a fastball by him, and Steve simply rifled it right up the middle for a single.
So with 1 out, the Dodgers knock on the door, and now they'll try to open it with Ron Cey. They need 2 base runners, of course, to bring that tying run to the plate. Cey 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. one thing for Burris throughout the game, there were times when he had a chance to wilt or waver a bit, but he's been very solid throughout in command. Fell behind, remember that one instance, 3-0, and came back to get saved. 4 straight strikes, finally got him out. Here's another pressure spot. 1 out in the 9th. 2-0. His bullpen ready if needed. Caught the corner, 2-1. You see the color in the background in the crowd. Those are the empty seats. Could be 2. Bad hop. Everyone's safe. A double play ball. But it takes a bad bounce on Spire.
Spire, who has been a Rocker Gibraltar in that Montreal infield, gets a bad hop. One of the things that visiting players will complain about coming into Dodger Stadium is some of the wicked hops that you get. That's an example of that ball out in front of Chris. He kept it in front of him, but it gave him a hop he simply couldn't handle.
The game well could have been over. There was a made-to-order double play opportunity. Instead, the air charged his fire, and it did take a bad hop. Has opened the gate now, and Guerrero up with a chance to tie it with one swing. And this crowd, many fans standing, just search the upper decks left and right. Down below, the fans that stayed, they still have their voices. Sosa and Fryman waiting for a call. Ball 1. With 1 out in the 9th, Garvey a single to center, and Say's ground ball to short, bobbled by Spire. Infield looking for another double play chance. Ball 2. Cisco to the right of Manning, the pitching coach, as they discuss if and when they'll go to the bullpen. It's going to be a double play as Spire makes a great backhanded catch, and Ray Burris and the Expos go home even with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Spire, superb veteran defender that he is, gets the tough bounce in an air and comes back to stab a possible base hit to left and turns it into a double play. And what you would have to rate is a true upset in Los Angeles tonight. Fernando Valenzuela and the Dodgers were considered heavy favorites, but Ray Burris turns the tables, a 5-hit shutout.
Spire, who just got a bad hop on the ball previously hit to him, turns a double play, and that ends it for the Dodgers in Game 2. Burris, a shutout.
And the whole complexion of this National League Championship Series changes with it as we'll go to Montreal's Olympic Stadium. Both teams with a victory. For Tom Seaver, Dick Enberg in Los Angeles, thank you for being with us. NBC's National League Championship Series has been brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Bye.